locked in a David versus Goliath struggle for their privacy.
People in Broughton in Milton Keynes made the headlines last year when they challenged a Google camera car trying to film their road for its new Street View website.
Well, the product went live on the internet yesterday, and it soon became clear from the images of their houses that their complaints had fallen on deaf ears. Well, our reporter Lorna Ramsey joins us live now from Broughton. Lorna, why are people so angry?
Well, it's not just about privacy. People living here say that Street View could increase crime because it makes it easier for criminals to do research and scout their properties. And it was for that reason that they stopped a Google car here last year. They called the police because they said they were suspicious about the car, which had cameras on its roof. At first, residents thought they'd won a small victory when the pictures weren't used for about a year. But now those pictures have been published, allowing anyone to take a virtual stroll down this street. The World Wide Web. It's put the world at our fingertips. But one element of it, Google's Street View, hasn't gone down well with people living in the village of Broughton near Milton Keynes. In fact, when people living here in London Road saw a Google Street View car making its rounds, they stopped it here and called the police. They said it was an invasion of their privacy and the pictures shouldn't be used. Nearly a year went past before they were used, but now, following yesterday's full launch, they're on Street View for all to see.
Anyone that had chose to have an element of privacy at their own property, that has been taken away because you've got this camera peering over fences into back gardens all the way through homes, and some people might like that. I don't.
It was a car like this one that took the pictures. Some people we spoke to said it didn't bother them, but others said Google should have asked permission.
I thought they were taking liberties, peering over people's hedges and walls and the like.
I wouldn't mind seeing the road, but I don't agree with looking at the houses, not close up. You know, I think it'd be rather embarrassing.
Google has been inundated with complaints about Street View. It allows people to browse a selection of pictures taken along more than 22,000 miles of UK streets. And our reporter Stuart Leiths was snapped in Norwich when the cameras did the rounds there. Google says it's gone to great lengths to ensure privacy by blurring faces and registration plates and removing properties on request. But some groups say that's not enough.
The guys at Google live in this electronic world so much, they just can't believe that people are upset in privacy terms by this sort of surveillance. I think it's wrong that the burden is entirely on us to get this fixed, having had this intrusion into our privacy without our consent or indeed without any warning.
When residents challenged the Google car, they were trying to protect their privacy. But their protest only thrust this village into the spotlight, resulting in the opposite effect.
Well, earlier today I spoke to Laura Scott from Google, and I began by suggesting that there was a lot of anger still simmering over Street View.
I think actually the vast majority of people are finding it to be a really, really valuable tool, whether it's for virtual tourism, house hunting, or doing their geography homework. Of course, there may be the odd one or two people that aren't happy, and for those people we can reassure them that they can have their house removed from Street View if that's what they prefer.
Well, let's talk about opting out then, because that's what residents of London Road thought they'd done, but it didn't really work, did it?
No, there isn't an opt-out process because it wouldn't really make sense. The idea is that only once a street is available and you know that it's online for Street View, then you can help us by telling us exactly which location it is you want to have removed, and we'll do that very quickly.
But we've got at least one resident complaining about shots over his garden wall. That sounds very intrusive.
Well, to be honest, that really surprises me because these images, they're taken from public roads, so they really just reflect what you or I could see if we were travelling down the road ourselves. And the key thing is that we've given people a choice. So we've blurred faces, we've blurred licence plates, and then if they're not happy, if there's anything they'd like to change, they can simply remove their house or a picture of themselves without any difficulty.
Now, others have described it as a burglar's charter. They've got a point, haven't they?
Well, I don't think they have. And we've spoken to the police in the local area, and like other places around the world where we've launched, they've told us that there's absolutely no evidence to suggest an increase in crime as a result of Street View. And what we actually find is that this is an incredibly useful tool. In the UK, we are trying to encourage more visitors to visit the region. We're trying to take more travel and opportunities at home as well. So this is really a tool that's got enormous benefits, as well as some of the things that people have identified they don't like.
Laura Scott from Google, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Next tonight, after months of uncertainty, the government guarantee that should safeguard the jobs of hundreds of Vauxhall workers.
The Business Secretary, Lord Mandelson, today unveiled a loan guarantee totalling £270 million for the company's beleaguered plants in Luton and Merseyside.
Well, Vauxhall's US parent company, GM, has already announced hundreds of job cuts at the plant, but unions say this should prevent more. Well, our correspondent Natalie Gray joins us live now from the newsroom. Natalie, what more can you tell us?
Well, this must be welcome news, because after months of speculation over possible takeovers and job cuts, at last some positive news for the van workers in Luton. The government's always said it's been working hard behind the scenes to secure the plant's future, and today that was translated into a huge loan guarantee announced by Lord Mandelson on a visit to Manchester. The Business Secretary, who paid this visit to Luton last year, said the agreement followed highly complex talks between the government and Vauxhall. Its US parent company, GM, has of course been beset by financial problems.
Well, Natalie, it must be welcome news then.
Absolutely. You know, Vauxhall employs around 1,500 people in Luton, and hundreds of job cuts are already in the pipeline. There had also been fears that Vauxhall employees here might lose out to plants in countries like Germany. But unions now say that this is just the fillip the workers needed, with Unite calling it great news for British industry. So tonight, there may just be one or two people around Luton toasting a slightly more secure future as they head into the weekend.
Thank you, Natalie. Staff at Bedford Hospital have been asked to help save £250,000 over the next 3 weeks. It's trying to avoid a budget overspend so it can win Foundation Trust status.
Well, employees have been asked not to order non-essential items and reduce the amount of photocopying they do. Unions say they're appalled by the begging message, which even suggests staff eat in the hospital's restaurant to generate income. Neil Bradford has more.
Time is ticking for Bedford Hospital. It has just 3 weeks to save £250,000. The new financial year starts on April the 1st. According to managers, every single member of staff can do their bit. They've sent an email urging everyone to watch the pennies.
We've asked them to save money by making sure that they don't order things unnecessarily, by making sure that the coding that we do is accurate, so that we can accurately count everything we do so that we get paid for it properly, by eating in the Swannery, our staff restaurant. We keep the profits for ourselves, so why shouldn't the staff have a good quality lunch and support the hospital by eating in the Swannery?
Unison says it's appalled at the hospital's begging message, urging staff to save money. In particular, it's not happy with the suggestion that staff should use the hospital's own restaurant.
It's saying to staff, many of whom are very low paid, for instance, would they go and use the hospital restaurant, which is very expensive, and some of those people can't afford to give their own children school meals.
The news comes as the East of England Strategic Health Authority spent £6,000 on a conference about saving money. The organisation hired out an entire wing of the Grade 1 listed Ickworth House near Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk. The Health Authority insists it was money well spent. Northamptonshire County Council has spent £100,000 on a public consultation to ask where it should make savings of £100 million. Bedford Hospital says the £250,000 savings they have to make will not affect patient care. Managers are confident they will break even. But with the new financial year just weeks away, it won't be the only organisation hoping to start with a clean set of accounts. Neil Bradford, Anglia News, Bedford.
Now you're probably wondering what the weather's going to get up to